Good afternoon, everybody. That's us in full screen now, I believe. Chris, a little bit of technical difficulties there, but we are here at Ibrox this afternoon for a rare 3 p.m. kickoff as Rangers take on Dundee United. And we're here with all of the team news reaction. Before we get into that, Chris, good to see you back. I say you've been on a week's holiday, but it's not really been a holiday given all that's going on with Rangers recently.
I thought you were going to say welcome back to Ibrox for a rare 3 points there, rather than a rare 3 p.m. kickoff. No, it's not been the quietest of weeks off, has to be said. Currently in negotiations with our manager to get that time back, but it's been quite the fortnight,
Yeah,
hasn't it?
just
It feels a long time since that afternoon through at Falkirk. Also the last game that Rangers played, last game Russell Martin took charge of. Safe to say quite a lot has happened since then, and we find ourselves in a situation where it's Stephen Smith, not Stephen Gerrard, or anyone else that's picking this Rangers 11. So, on obviously the most important thing this afternoon is 3 points. The Rangers, they have to try and get back on it in terms of Premiership. The title race, it's not quite done yet. If they drop anything today, then a difficult task becomes a nigh on impossible one. So the main thing I think this afternoon is to get through it. Performance doesn't make a massive difference. Result is huge for Rangers.
Yeah, well, let's get straight into that team then. I'll bring it up here. The starting 11 against Dundee United today. You've got Jack Butland in goals, a back four of James Tavernier, who is the captain, John Souttar, Derek Cornelius, and Jayden Megoma. In the midfield, the sitting two, we believe, of Nico Raskin and Joe Rothwell, with Telo Asgard operating in that number 10. And then the front three, which is pretty self explanatory at this point, Jerry Gassama, Bojan Majowski, and Oliver Antman. Chris, any surprises in there in terms of Stevie Smith's lineup, as he just went for, on paper, these are probably the 11 best players that I have?
I think that's fair. No real surprises there at all. Also, you were at the press conference yesterday and confirmed that Diomande would not make it, so that takes one issue out of the midfield. Raskin again had another impressive international break, has to be said, so he clearly starts. I think most of it actually picks itself when you're looking at that bench: Kelly, Aarons, Barron, Shamite, Bayrami, Cameron, Giga, Moore, and Curtis. People would maybe have liked to have seen Finlay Curtis get a run. He's then potentially taking that man slot, but I think at that stage you're splitting hairs. So no real surprise with that lineup on paper, or as we look at it on the screen. It's a team. It's 11 players that should be more than good enough to go and beat Dundee United. But you could say the same for Falkirk, you could say the same for St Mirren, you could say the same for every other game that Rangers have failed to win this season. They should have obviously performed at a higher level. They should have won more games. This is a chance for this team to go and prove that they can still be Rangers players.
Yeah, absolutely. It's hard to analyse these teams too much, I think, this season, because how many times have we sat here and looked at a lineup similar to this on paper and went, you know what, there looks to be a lot of quality in there. There looks to be a lot of places where Rangers can hurt teams, a lot of good avenues for where Rangers can make things happen, and it just doesn't come to pass time after time. So it'll be interesting to see if perhaps the shackles are off a little bit. I thought it was very interesting that yesterday Stevie Smith made the point that he wants to just simplify the tactics. He wants to take it back to basics. I think that was the overarching line that came out of yesterday's press conference, that he really wants to strip it back. So I personally think the likes of Jedi Gassama, the likes of Oliver Antman, if they are just given a free role to just go and run at their fullback, go and make things happen, and don't try and complicate it a little bit too much, then hopefully that could yield some success for Rangers.
Hopefully, if we start at the other end, hopefully Stevie Smith has been able to impart a bit of defensive solidity and a bit of defensive nous into this side. But middle to front, it's a game at Ibrox. You have enough quality and enough money being spent on those forward thinking players. As you say, tell them, go and play a game, go and enjoy yourself, go and try and entertain, go and try and give this crowd something to get behind. If you do that, they will get behind you. That then takes a bit of the pressure off, and you then don't feel it as much. So there's more than enough quality in that side to go and beat Dundee United. I think that simplified message is an interesting one, because how many times have Rangers, it's looked overcomplicated, it's looked overcomplicated for the sake of it, and it's possession for the sake of it in a lot of these matches. So hopefully we see Rangers being a bit more direct, being a bit more attacking. If they do that, say likes of Gassama, likes of Ant-Man, Miovski certainly proven at this level, they do have the quality in that final third to go and beat Dundee United. So time will tell if that actually easier said than done as always.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a case of easier said than done with Rangers. Of course, keep putting your predictions in the comments. Greg here and said, Blair, do a hair flick for us. We missed the thousands that have happened, lol. I'm sorry if I'm bringing back any bad memories of this haircut sitting in this seat. I can only apologise. Interesting point that Ronnie makes here, and you touched on a little bit. Finlay Curtis deserves a start, and I think that's one that me and Johnny spoke about on the podcast yesterday when I was coming live from the training ground. A lot of people may be thinking, they looked at Stevie Smith, his understanding of the academy, his time spent in the academy. Finlay Curtis certainly looks to be the hottest prospect that Rangers have coming out of that. A lot of people may be thinking that he should have been thrown in, a bit of clamour that he should have been put in from the start today, but I've got no doubt that Stevie Smith knows what Finlay Curtis can do. And if he thinks he's able to come on and contribute at any point, I'm sure we'll see him.
I would like to see him at some point. I think he's been probably one of the names over not just the last couple of games, but certainly the last few weeks, maybe even all season. People saying that he's not been used as much as he should have done. There's also a lot of debate about Mikey Moore and his form and his position and even his future at the club for a wee spell. Finlay Curtis has shown what he can do already this season, not in a prolonged spell because he's just not had that opportunity. He's not had that run of games. He's not had that, right, you're going to play 6, 7, 8 games and go and show us what you can do. In those moments, certainly at the start of the campaign, showed up really, really well, contributed, has numbers to his game that other players in that forward line, Gassama aside, just don't. So I do understand Ronnie's point. I think if Curtis had started, it would have been merited, but no real surprise that Stevie Smith has gone for the more experienced option. We don't know what the Ibrox crowd is going to be like today. It's maybe just a game where he thinks, I'll go for the guy that's got top flight experience in a couple of leagues. I'll go for the guy that's got international experience. Go and allow Ant-Man to go and see what he can do. But I think we will see Curtis at some point. If the first change comes in the wide areas and it's Moore over Curtis, that will then spark a familiar debate, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I would like to see Finlay get not just a chance in this game, but more of a chance going forward, because these games now, until the new manager is actually in, it is a fresh start. Every player will get a chance to impress, and I think Finlay Curtis has shown that he can impress in this side.
Yep, I'll just take you through the bench one more time. That's Liam Kelly, Max Aarons, Connor Barron, Yusuf Chianmiti, Nadeem Barami, Lyle Cameron, Nasser Giga, Mikey Moore, and Finlay Curtis. This is an interesting point here from Scott. Today should be very interesting indeed. We should get an idea in this 90 minutes if these players were hindered by Russell Martin. And I think this is something that's pervading a lot of the conversations with the Rangers support, thinking that the tactics were too complex, they were too complicated. All the noise surrounding Russell Martin was really starting to affect the players on the park. And it's not, like you said, it's not even just the tactical aspect of it. It's the chaos and the chaotic nature what Rangers had become in the past few weeks. That must have affected the players on the park and the way that they were operating. So I think that with maybe a bit more calm. I'm reticent to jump in and say it is going to be more calm today, because you never know what's going to happen come 3 o'clock. But maybe with a bit more calm, a bit more, everyone's just a little bit, the temperature is cooled, these players can maybe go out and show what they can do.
That's the opportunity that they've got. If they don't take it in a situation like this, then you're asking bigger questions about their futures at this club. A lot of talk about recruitment, a lot of talk about what's been spent on this squad. I think it's safe to say almost every player that was brought into this club in the summer still has a huge point to prove. I think he's clearly been the poster boy for the recruitment, if you like. But the bar for the rest of them is set so low. A number of these players, even at this stage of the season, I don't think it's unfair to say that they're already fighting for their futures at this club, because the fans here, they will make judgments on you, and once they write you off, it can be very, very difficult to turn that back around. The comment there, I think it's a fair one, and the point you made about the noise round about Russell Martin, it's never really got going for Rangers this season. There's almost since the very first day, Martin was on the back foot. The team's been on the back foot in terms of performances and results. We've never really seen what a Rangers side with these players who are in good spirits and in good form. We've just not seen it. This is a chance for them to go and start. All runs have to start somewhere, and for so many reasons, a run really has to start this afternoon for Rangers. They need to start building a bit of momentum in terms of the Premiership. It's got a huge game coming up on Thursday. You don't win on Thursday night, chances of qualifying in Europa League are slim, to say the least. And everybody knows there's no firm game coming up at Hampden in just a few weeks as well. So momentum can be a great thing. It can be a bad thing. Rangers they've had the negative side of the momentum, and things have just snowballed and got worse and worse. Now it has to be a reset. It has to be a fresh start for this group. Can they take it? The next 90 minutes will tell us or not.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. Like you said, today that reset would be off to the best possible starts with 3 points and just a comfortable win. But how many times have we seen that recently? It doesn't seem to have been that familiar against Dundee United here at Ibrox. Just run you through that team one more time. You can see it on the screen there. Jack Butland in goals, James Tavernier, John Suter, Derek Cornelius, and Jayden Megoma at the back. In the three, Raskin, Rothwell, Asgard. Interestingly to see if Rothwell pushes a bit further up today, maybe alongside Asgard in those 28 positions, and Raskin maybe sitting. And up front, Oliver Anton, Bojan Majowski, Jedi Gassama. And on the bench, for anyone that has missed it, is Liam Kelly, Max Aarons, Connor Barron, Yusuf Chermiti, Nadeem Barami, Lyle Cameron, Nasser Jiga, Mikey Moore, and Finlay Curtis. We'll be back after the game to discuss what has unfolded here at Ibrox, and of course keep across all of the Rangers Review social media channels for updates throughout this afternoon as Rangers take on Dundee United.